You a delusional cuckoo bird, or are you just waiting for aligned divine timing to get your manifestations to come to fruition? Hi, I'm Betty. I used to be a homeless crackhead prostitute, and today I'm a manifestation teacher and coach. And if I can do it, you can do it. Okay, so yesterday I made a video about what's the difference between aligned visualization and being straight up cuckoo bananas delulu. Because I met these people who have been working on their vision for 50 years and it hasn't happened yet. And when is enough enough? And when do you have to know that maybe this isn't happening for some reason? You need to change your technique, or it's not for your highest good, or anyway, but I realized that I didn't add any of my own stories, and I've got stories around being totally delulu, cuckoo, and moving as if I knew that it was already done. So let me share the delulu first because it's really funny, but it always usually happens around relationships, even friendships, but definitely romantic relationships, trying to manifest your dream partner and just assuming that it's any random dude with dandruff and bad breath, and knowing they and thinking that that's the person that God has in mind for you when manifesting your dream partner. So I have literally stalked people, broken into apartments, gotten restraining orders against me, trying to force a manifestation to come into fruition. Like for real. Real crazy stuff. And by the way, that guy who got a restraining order against me, I just want to say that he did end up writing a whole music EP and he called it Stalker, and all of the songs were about me. So maybe we were meant to be. But then there's been other instances in my life where I moved with manifestations as if I knew that it was already done. So I started by practicing my muscles, like by strengthening my manifestation muscles. And so I would start really small. Hey, today I'm going to see a feather. And then a guy walks past me with a big feather tattoo on his arm. Okay, there's my feather. Today I'm going to see a squirrel. And then a little squirrel comes up and bites my face off. And I just kept doing little things to know that, wow, I am a powerful creator. So when I left treatment, I moved out of the rehab that I was living in for a year and a half. I was homeless and I just moved in with this random person because I live in New York City and everybody here has roommates. So I answered an ad and I went to go interview and I told the guy that I was in recovery and he said, "Well, I hope that you don't mind, but every once in a while I like to have a craft beer." I said, "Hey, that's no problem. I don't drink, so just don't give it to me, don't offer it to me, and we're all good." My first night in the apartment, I found out that that man was a liar. He downed six tall boys of Coors Light, and I found out that he is a raging alcoholic. And he was banging on my door all night. He passed out in front of my door. It was all really terrifying. And the next morning, I set a very strong boundary. I said, "Don't ever do that again." And I prayed out to God and I said, "I know that God's going to send me a better opportunity than this one." About 4 months later, I got a letter in the mail. And it was saying that there was a studio apartment waiting for me. I had filled out a bunch of housing applications when I was in treatment, and one of them came to fruition. Now, this letter said that I needed $1,862 to move into this apartment. And at that point in time, I had about $20 to my name. So, what would you do? Well, because I had strengthened my manifestation muscles, I moved as if I knew that it was already done. I said out loud, "Well, if God gave me the apartment, God will surely give me a way to pay for it. I better start packing." And that's exactly what I did. I moved as if it was already done. And so, what do people do when they're moving? They pack up their stuff. I purged what I didn't want, I packed what I did want, and I just kept trusting. And 3 days before I was meant to move into that apartment, I got my first tax return in 15 years. Because, drug addicted prostitutes don't pay taxes. And I needed $1,862 to move into that space. And my tax return was $1,826. So I have a little bit of a dyslexic angel working for me on the other side, but I had exactly what I needed because I moved as if I knew I was in the care of. I was in the care of something greater than myself. And I love that story. And so whenever I'm worried about manifestations, I remind myself of the fact that God's really got my back. And if God has my back, God definitely has your back. And if you don't like the word God, whatever, get over yourself. Spirit, service, the universe, insert something here. There's something bigger than you that has your back. And if you would like help getting connected to that part or learning how to manifest properly, please check out my offerings. Not to be some kind of sleazy marketing promotion coach person, but I've figured out really easy tools and a fun way to convey them. People love the way that I teach. And so I just want to be able to make sure that everybody has access to this. We live in an abundant universe. There's enough for all of us. So dream big. The universe is not on a budget. Be wavy.